Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, fuck me sideways. Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You shall not pass!
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me!
I have you now.
Watch the birdie!
Must go faster.
Inconceivable! Say hello to my little friend! Our victory is near. Target destroyed.
Come out, wherever you are.
Peekaboo!
We've been hit. Target. Attention to the map.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's over, Anakin! I'm at the high ground! Don't try it! Black 9-0! Armor piercing, loading!
Special delivery!
Target to...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Gotcha, bitch!
To Syntax Live. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. And before I do anything, we already have somebody. I need to write this down. As you can see, like I said, I'm going crazy here. Grab a fresh pen, whatever. And we got our first one. Guard coming in with a, oh, God, come on, you piece of shit. Coming in with a $10 super chat. As he says, made it this week. Tried to send some Armor Core 6 videos, but the files were too large. Oh, yeah, of course, my Stream Deck isn't working. It is too large, so to the point that they became links you apparently don't receive. Yeah, I've had that issue before. Yeah, I only actually got one video, and it was the one that, dude, you're going to get me fucking arrested. I'm not even close to kidding. Pure and simple. You can't show kids getting hurt. And it just, you know which one I'm talking about. It's just, they're on a trampoline park and some kid jumps in and some dude lands on them. And dude, not cool. All right. Though, hey, all other videos are good. All the other videos are just fine. All right. We also got $10 super chat from I Can Fixer. And as he says, tip jar, hello all. Hope all goes well. Douglas, hey, I hope you guys are doing all sorts of good here tonight. And I'm trying to write this down as fast as I can as we get going. At least deathbed with you, I just have to put the initials ICFH. That makes it real easy on my notes. And before I even go any further, I forgot to, I was trying to reset my stream deck while I'm doing this because I've been, and you'll find out why here. But of course, guard. Oh, shit. Let me hit that again. For the Emperor! And then, unfortunately, question. Man, I don't have much. All I can say is you deserve
Death! My snooze new!
And we also have a $10 super chat from Erica. And she just puts in, hello, hello. You know, I only hear British people doing that one, honestly. So anyways, guys, as you can see in the background, things are kind of messed. I was trying to do something with the green screen and I can't fix it now. It's just going to have to, we're just going to have to ride it out. And it's just because I got pillars in certain areas. And if I encapsulate myself, I'm sweating so bad. I can't freaking stand it, man. I can't stand it. And let me put that down. Let me put this down. And if you can, before I add anything to this apple juice, guys, I do have to start off this. Unfortunately, I don't have a hat to take off at this moment. Around here, a family friend was lost last night. He was a Korean War veteran. So as you guys know, around here, we always give our veterans the standard veteran send-off toast. Thank you for being with us, my friend, and good luck on your next assignment. His name is Charlie Bussey. He served in Korea. Good man. Very, very good man. So I'm going to adjust here really quick. And I got another $20 super chat from Skip. Hey, Skip, you know, you actually got, you already had this week in the bag. I guess you're working on having the other one in the bag, ain't you? And he says, Sin, if you snag hook something while fishing, do you count it as a catch? If so, caught a 200-pound plus. Cool. My fishing buddy came up from behind me without letting me know. Unfortunately, I had to throw him back. Well, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to fishing on that one. I count that as a catch. If you dragged its friggin' flippery ass out of the water, it counts as a goddamn catch. That's in my book, 100%. That's what counts. So yes, you got him. That's one for the records. I hope you got a picture before you threw him back, preferably something next to the scale, so you can prove to everybody that you caught the damn thing. So thank you very much, Skip. Very, very much appreciated. All right. I'm not going to take too much time on the intro. Once again, thank you, everybody. And I forgot, Skip has got to...
All hands to battle stations.
Off. I keep forgetting to hit the damn things. All right. I want to jump into Get Some. It's been going over. Guys, I have been so busy today. I haven't even looked into the comments over the past hour to hour and a half. That's how crazy it's been. That being said, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know some things you guys are enjoying is the names that I'm using. And a few of you thank you for putting these out. Thank you, because I'm going to start putting them into the story. Like the fact that on the jungle world that they just invaded called Coochie 2, somebody could walk around and go, man, here on Coochie, there's a lot of moisture around here. You know, kind of a hat tip to the OG Star Wars and whatnot. Excuse me. And then, I'm sorry, when someone, I won't mention who, mainly because I forgot to write it down, put that in, guys, I was laughing my butt off. Thank you for that. I needed the laugh. It's been a very long day, a bit of a trying day. Let's see. It was brought up with the story how I was able to put humanity in all different stories. This was somebody, I think it was like their first time actually sending in a comment. Guys, that's kind of the point. If you're going to make a story, you have to stay close to whatever type of, I should say, species you're dealing with. And I just realized something I should have done before. And even if that comes to human, you got to put the human in human. You know, that's just kind of the way it goes. And when you're working with other species, you got to put the other species in said other species, or a human inside them when they get some. Anyways, that's just the way my mind works. I focus on making sure that everything is copacetic in that area, making sure everything lines up. And hopefully it works for you guys. He also mentioned how bloodlust is always has to be justified, just like righteous anger, which I like. I like that. I always like when people use stuff like that. Righteous anger was just good. And I just saw something. You guys are chatting away, and yeah, it seems a lot of people are having some issues here. God damn, Douglas, it got that bad. I'll look into that in a minute here. I just want to go over here now. When it came to the name of one of the species called the houdars, and as you know, that's a play on the words to, you know what? I didn't have it on here, so I'll just say
Giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
They actually brought up the old Hoosiers, and I did not know this, that Hoosiers was actually a hat tip to the old barmaids knockers back in the day, where the lady who would actually open the door for you had to basically have her wampons hanging out. So yeah, and if you haven't listened to the actual song Barmaids Knockers, you're missing out. All right, I will say with the Dust One, okay, there was a lot of confusion about that call sign. That is fairly new. I say fairly new because, well, I've been listening to what everybody's been saying, and yeah, it's it is what it is. That's what we had in JRTC, Joint Readiness Training Command, down there in Fort Polk. And here's a fun one for you guys. When I was down there, now I had been pulled away from my squad. I was a squad leader. I had 2 team leaders. Now they did not like me much, but they were 2 great guys, and I'm glad I had them. I just hate the fact that they got tied up in the Ranger bullshit. And there's Rangers and there's Ranger bullshits, just like there's blacks. And you know what? I'm not going to finish that sentence because you guys know where that goes. And if you have any black friends, they've said the same thing at least several times. That being said, he took one of my team leaders. The guy barely talked, but when he talked, you better fucking listen. He took a mixed group, as in a mixed team plus, not even a full squad, and he was able to recover the Dust One, the guy who got captured, within the allotted time. And I'm just listening to the radio. They're like, we got him. He busted in, he got him. And I heard his call sign. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I called up and said, verify call sign. They're like, Roger, he took it with mixed group. And I'm just like, oh, yes. I actually put in the paperwork for the awards, and he got denied. The Op 4 that was there, the opposing force, the guys that we trained with, told them that, and actually told all of us, that's the first time in over 3 years that somebody had actually got the Dust One out alive or got him back. That's impressive. I hope he became a squad leader. I hope he became a fucking platoon sergeant, because that guy was freaking awesome. And Desluver, if you're out there, good luck to you, man. Now, there was a big to-do in the comment section between the different call signs and with different branches. Guys, anybody who hasn't done military, that is very common. Just like if I did something like this, you know, if I went between mechanized, infantry, artillery, airborne, and freaking even pilots, if you see this hand signal, you're going to be like, okay, this means something different to everybody else. To infantry, this means tight 360 now. Everybody's basically going to be facing out with their feet touching each other. For mechanized, it means drop ramp. For artillery, it means lower the gun. If that, well, actually, no, that one changed. But regardless, then you have the pilots. They have their own hand signals that mean all sorts of different things. And I'm not a pilot, so I don't know all of them. But I do know that one in particular is different, because somebody saw me do it and they go, "Don't you ever do that around the planes, man." I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. All right. Going back into the funny shit, our wonderful Doc, which I hope is going to be joining us here, he had some funny name ideas. I will say, I'm not going to say what they are here. However, Steve, if you're listening, yes, they will be showing up. Don't ruin the surprise for everybody, but yes, it might take another chapter before I get to it. I'm hoping to get it into the next chapter. Or hold on, I'm about to say the magic words. But they are going to show up. And yes, it's a plural they. And all right. A lot of people were asking about the Nod's favorite ice cream. That's coming later. I'm just going to let you know it'll be coming. And there was, and I forgot to put the damn picture in here. Fuck me. All right. If you guys were wondering what the walking weapons platform with the skull head was, that's the Atlas from Battletech. Okay. I actually have in my notes right here, Image Atlas. I'm a dumbass. All right. I'm going to throw on, since I don't have anything new, I'm going to random video this sucker. Just something as I change from reviewing everything for the past week onto what's going on in the industries. How about, let's get one that's at least 20 seconds long here. How about this one? Oh, don't mind me too much at the moment. I just need to mix up my apple juice with something else, or else I will be on the ground probably spasming before this whole thing's over. I didn't get a chance to get the good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, just want to see the shirt, just so you guys know, it does actually have something on it. I'm not shy. I just don't fucking like you. But that does not apply to you guys. In particular, all you fans, I need to give you guys a huge thank you for not only just being here, but supporting me and everything else. More on that later. And for right now, I want to switch over and say the only thing that's really been going through the entertainment industry right now, as we know, is Halo. In particular, Halo Campaign Evolved. Unfortunately, I wanted to have at least part of a video that somebody else did lined up and ready to go. And unfortunately, like I said, everything's been going to crap today. I've been busy. It is what it is. I will say this. Everybody hates it. Everybody absolutely despises that freaking game. And rightfully so. They should despise it because it is dog shit. It is so bad. And I don't know why, some reason this thing just zoomed in for some reason. Or zoomed out. You know what? Fuck it. I'll deal with it some other time. All right. Now, like I said, rightfully so, everybody is just hating it. Mainly, they brought it off or started, and if you guys haven't seen it, brace yourselves. Because what they did is as I'm talking Chief, let me put Chief on here so you got something better than me to look at. When it comes to Chief, they basically bastardized him. He's never the actual center point of anything that's there, even though he's supposed to be the main character. Case in point, Cortana during most of Combat Evolved was a disembodied voice. Everybody knows this. Everybody understood it. It was part of her character. Now, every time Chief moves, he's got to quite literally pull a small holograph projector about the size of a hockey puck either out of his ass or out of his crotch. I'm not even kidding. That's where his hand goes. It's literally, she is either up his ass or on his pecker. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Okay. Then you've got the additional missions in the beginning where instead of focusing on Chief and the Covenant like you're supposed to, you take the Sergeant Major there and you turn him into what looks like Steve Harvey's retarded cousin. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this? It doesn't make sense. And then you have the most irritating squunt ever. And she's the one everybody's going over. That's what they're focusing on. And that whole thing about, nice job, Chief. I'm starting to believe the rumors are true. That's the same as in, what was it, Halo 4 or something? They did the first Spartan walking around without a helmet. Oy. And the first thing she says is, I thought you'd be taller. Bitch, he should have friggin' butt stroked her right there. Oh, man, it just, it irritates me to no end that they have to bring in these absolutely irritating freaking characters. It is just so freaking bad. Now, a lot of people actually do the whole thing when the new Marine, which now 60% of the Marine Corps is female now. I'm not even kidding. Look through the previews and you'll see it's anywhere from 55 to 75% female. What? You haven't killed off all the guys that fast, asshole. Besides, I've worked with Marines. Even though a bit sloppy, they're hard to kill. And it's just, I don't know what is with the insufferable characters that they had to insert. All I know is that all these forced inserts, you'll actually find one of the new developers, it's based off her. And almost the entirety of, what is it, 343, Halo Industry, whatever the fuck they call themselves now, is almost entirely female and almost entirely anti-military, anti-firearm, anti-everything that makes fucking Halo. You can't make something good if the person making it hates what they're doing. It's just, and I mean, you know, it was honestly, Halo died for me a long time ago when they tried to race swap Chief with Locke. And that didn't make sense. He's Oni. Oni are not Spartans. It doesn't fit. Now, granted, I've only read the first few volumes I showed you guys last week. But what the hell are they thinking? Seriously, what is wrong with these people? You know where Halo should have ended? At this scene right here, where he said, wake me when you need me. And Cortana should have put herself in like a partial shutdown so that she doesn't go through her rampancy or whatever, at least not for longer. And he should have just sat there and been there. And that's where it should have ended. Just like at the Dragon's Balls, at the end of the Cell Saga, it should have ended because his son became stronger than him. But no, they got to drag it on. Fuck these guys. Halo, I don't even want to play the original games anymore. That's how bad it is. You know how much it takes for a hardcore gamer to not want to play the games anymore? I almost don't play the Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, the original, anymore because of how dog shit the other ones are. The more recent ones. So anyway. I just wanted to go over that. It's the wokeism. As soon as it gets in, it kills everything. It killed, I believe, Mass Effect. There was a big push on that one. God of War was a huge woke push. Because the way it was supposed to end, it was supposed to be Kratos, I think Thor, and like one other like Egyptian god or something like that. Were supposed to be at the very end. The very ending scene was supposed to be them being the three wise men. And I don't know what the hell's going on with that. but I do know what's going on with the Guardian Sage.
May the Schwartz be with you.
As he says, for some better news in gaming, check out the indie RPG called Beaten Path when you have a little free time. If I have a little free time, I'm going to put that down. Okay. Beaten Path. Okay. All right. I'll look into it. It is now officially on my notes right there. You can see it. So, oh shit. You know what? I might actually want to write down that you put that in. All right. Thank you again, Sage, Erica, Fixer, and of course, Guard and Skip. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to take a quick break on one of these. Which one am I going to put up here? That was mystical before. Let's do some tank action. All right. Oop, I forgot to take that off the screen. All right, guys. We went through most of my notes really quick. Again, I didn't have a lot of time to throw a bunch on. But here's the fun part. I need you guys' help. I actually do need your help on this. You guys know that I'm doing the gaming channel. In particular, I'm going to be going over strategies, specifically how when it comes to armor combat with the Battletech. I have already started it, guys. I am hung up on one area and just one area. And I'm sure you're all thinking, what the hell is he talking about? I need to know what is a good name for the channel. For one, okay? Need to know the channel name, whether it's going to be... Now, I actually end it by saying, welcome to the war zone on the very first video. I was going to use that. I didn't know if it worked. I didn't know if I should say something tactical or talk about games or whatever. Now, just keep in mind that I'm going to be breaking down the actual tactics, how this works, and doing voiceovers on each of them, plus throwing in some, of course, extra little sound effects where I can. And that's going to be it. As soon as that's up and running, I'll be putting all... originally, I wanted to have it set up for today. I had everything, and then I get in. I'm like, okay, the names I come up with sound terrible. So I need you guys' help. I need you guys. I need to get some names from you guys. I need to know what's going to work. Okay. And I should have everything lined up. The very first video is already made. Fair warning, the very first video is quite long. Just like my girlfriend used to call me. So just beware of that, because you guys wanted the story mode, so I couldn't skip a lot of it. However, I just did the raw video for the next episode, and it's not going to be all that long. Maybe 20 minutes. I don't know yet. Not until I get into all that. Now, I see Guardians already jumping in, and I'd like the rest of you guys to jump in. I'm going to scroll up a bit. I'm going to go through a few of these, and I know you guys are talking about some pretty hefty shit. So, yeah, I'll start here right after Erica's super chat. Douglas talking about blood test and normal, elevated white count. Yeah, I know what that means. A lot of us know what that means. Thank you, medical shows, for telling us what that actually means. Guard saying, can't be funny and send videos of kids getting hurt. No, you can't show kids getting hurt. A lot of it, actually, YouTube's getting so bad you can't show children, period. It wouldn't matter if they're sitting there playing checkers. I'm not even joking. There's actually a channel called Acorn. Is Acorn Stash or Gen X Acorn? What? However the fuck. AKORN. You'll know it by his squirrel. And he goes over a lot of Gen X and versus millennial memes type stuff. And he has to now edit every single one of the pictures he finds and remove all the children from each of the pictures, because if he shows one, he might get a strike. If he shows two, the video is not only just demonetized, but removed. It's getting strict. And yeah. So anyways, I'm going to go down here. Douglas saying condolences. Thank you. And pass it on to his family. I will. Yeah, it's a shame to lose everybody. I know it's and I appreciate you guys sending him in. I do, you know, all old 80s style with a double tap on the heart there. It's always difficult, and sometimes you look at these guys, you think they walk on water, you know, you think they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof. But, you know, time has a way of kicking you right in the nuts. Or how's Mr. Floppy say, kick him in the groin. Yeah. Guard says, I never thought a game like Armored Core, I would have to worry about finances. But yeah, I have to worry about not having money for repairs. Yeah, that's one of the big ones. Actually, there's a section specifically I did on the video I just filmed. I deliberately put one of the mechs where it has a chance of getting damaged, just to show what it takes if it does get damaged, and how, it's going to cost time. And when you're early in any game, your finances suck. So yeah. Yeah, you're right, Guardian. Raise a glass. And I don't really consider them fallen, more like regrouping. Marines know exactly what I'm talking about. And War Sniper saying how the stream went down. Really, that must be what happened with his camera. For some reason, it's all sorts of weird. All right, Douglas up here. Just pain comes to the lower leg bone, very intense sometimes, enough to double me over. Yeah, my dad's got those. I can't do anything about it, and I tell you what, if you're in the room, it is one of the most helpless things when there's nothing you can freaking do. The thing is, I know how to treat it, but I'm not punching my father in the leg. A lot of times, if it's the muscle actually cramping up, sometimes a concussive force right on. Now, I used to get leg cramps real bad. Physical therapist told me about this. He's like, if that happens, find out exactly where it is and hit yourself right there pretty hard. And what it does is it sends a shockwave and it breaks everything up, because now your body's thinking, okay, we have an actual hit here. We need to flood this and, get everything moving. Yeah, there was only 4 for a while there, Guard. It was bad. Yeah, Brian's got dinner to run to. Yep. Guardian says, should be at least 5. Had an issue with the stream freezing up. Had to fast forward to catch up. Well, if you must, turd, catch up with me. I hope you relish everything here. Yeah, bad jokes. Bad. I need a drink. Yeah, unfortunately, my usual numbers aren't always, super great. I'm not exactly, what's his name? Tim Pool. I'm not that guy. I'm definitely not Joe Rogan. I mean, that guy has millions of people listening. Maybe if I did political stuff, but I don't want to do political stuff on this channel. That's what the Crazy Uncle channel is for. Doug is saying is kneecaps, they move around and pop like all kinds of noises. I can see my cartilage slide out and have to slide them back in. That is disgusting. I have no idea how to fix that. Yeah. Garden said, when looking it up, you should include RPG either before or after the name Beaten Path in your search bar. Okay. RPG. Yeah. Although I will say that somebody thought they'd be smart with a bunch of guys with like VFW hats and stuff like that. He literally ran in the room and just yelled RPG, and like 3 of us hit the dirt. As soon as that happened, we got up. He's running, and he thought it was funny. I'm looking for the camera because I'm about to kill somebody. Let's see. Guardian says the name you were going with sounds good to me. Metal Tactics. Okay. Okay. So, well, hold on, let me get a new page here. We got Syntex Warzone. That's 1 vote. And we got Metal Tactics. And it's 1 vote for that one. Skip saying past sins might work. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I don't know. I don't know if that's really for a analyzing, tactics type channel. It doesn't sound like one. Sounds like something. How'd they say it with the Muppets? It's creepy and kind of woohoo. Douglas up here says, only other oddities in my blood test is my B12 count is low, as well as I am anemic, dude. That fucking blows. My sister was anemic for a while. It fucked up her system good while before she finally figured it out. Doesn't run in my family, though. Guardian saying, I wish I could share pictures in the stream. I have some metal posters that would fit this stream. Yeah, the only reason, guys, I'm not doing a call-in stream tonight is, again, I've been super busy. I couldn't even get the green screen lined up right. It is what it is. And don't worry. Yes, I am still in my underground layer. I actually got, as you guys can see, the new chair, finally. I was able to go get that and actually construct the fucking thing, even though they gave me the wrong screws, and I had to go get new ones. Fun stuff. Let's see. Douglas says, weird things, even though I was never exposed to Orange, as in the agent of, I was in Germany and the VA put me on the presumptive list. Dude, you're better off that way because it ups your benefits package. He says, found out later they used Agent Rainbow in some of their basins in Germany when they're helping move Pershing warheads out of Germany. And I got to write this down. Metal Sin. All right. Now, remember, once I'm done with Battletech, I'm moving on to other ones. So I got to ease off. I don't know if metal works. Anyways, I only got 1 vote for all 4 of those right now. So I'm trying to get some sort of consensus. Now, as far as the rainbow, okay, for those of you who don't know, Agent Orange was one of, if I remember correctly, 8 different ones. Each one was brought into in a container that was labeled with a color. That's why they had the rainbow chemicals or rainbow agents. That was all of them, actually, Douglas, not just one. So you were, in fact, if they say you were exposed to rainbow, you had all of them, and that is not good. That's actually extremely bad. So, yeah. And Joseph here. Joseph, just so you know, we're doing a check. Yeah, I'm sure you can see in the chat box a few of the ideas here for the name of the tactical channel I'm doing. I'm starting off with Battletech, and I just needed to know what was going to be a good name for it. Now, we have so far Syntex Warzone, Metal Tactic, Past Sins, Metal Sin, and we have a $20 super chat, which adds him actually another week. You're a week ahead, Skip, there. And he says, Sin, there was a video called, I'm going to mispronounce this, Lenny's Rangers? Leani Ranger. That was very good concept, but poorly done. The author is Shade. Wow, we're gonna mispronounce Shade Skira. No, Skira. I know that she has no idea about what an Army Ranger is, could you please do a better job of it? I would have to see the video Lenny's Rangers before that. Now, I've actually worked with Rangers, guys. I do not have a high opinion of Rangers. And you guys have heard me tell the story before, how we rigged a good portion of the Mount site, movement on urban terrain site, and they were fucking up by the numbers, something fierce. They thought, oh, we're just going to rush in here and we're just going to bolt nose them over. Doesn't work that way. Hasn't worked that way in a very long time. And yeah, I don't know how else to put it except, yeah, they like to go in and screw things up, but when they screw things up, they screw things for everybody. And we got another vote for Metal Sin coming from Joseph. But yeah, the Rangers, they, out of everything, and I could go on for a pretty long rant, it'd be pretty scattered, but a pretty long rant, is when people go to Ranger School, and I've seen this happen. I've seen it sink careers, by the way. Is they'll say they have 300 slots. That's bullshit. One of those 100 isn't there. It's just to tell everybody to fuck off. There's actually 2. There's only 200 slots. So depending on what line you get in or how far to the back you are, you're just going to, they're going to sit there. Say you got to do 27. They'll sit there 26, 26, 26. And they've learned that they're going to piss somebody off. Somebody big, somebody mad is going to get up and just start waylaying on someone. So they always have extra folks there to try and stop somebody. And a few times they've been busted on this and all it is badge protecting. These are the same guys, the Rangers are the same guys who will go to the EIB course and complain that someone is badge protecting when they do the same fucking thing. You want to have hypocrisy like that, you can fuck off. I don't have time with it. None of you should have time with it. Somebody wants to be hypocritical like that, I'm good. And we got another one, Sin Tactics. And before I go, we got a $10 super chat from the SS Demon. And he says, hi guys, I already said it in Discord. Hold on. He said the magic word. But the new guy quit, so I'm stuck waiting for the next one we hire to make it before I can come back full time. Sadly, miss everybody. One day I will be back. One day. Well, I do hope you're enjoying what's coming out so far, Demon. It's a shame you're not here. We're not doing call-in tonight because I just didn't get everything set up in time for it. Is what it is. So yeah. But good to hear from you. I hope everybody gives a hi to Demon while he's there. All right. Now we got, because Erica had her own to jump in with Sin Tactics. Now we got, again, Warzone, Metal Tactics, Past Sins, Metal Sin, and Sin Tactics. And we'll see what else anybody comes up with, and Guardian's throwing his in there for Sin Tactics. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. There was something I missed up here. Guardian says, I want to say, for example, one of the words we stand for the flag at the top of we kneel for the fallen at the bottom with a kneeling soldier in front of the flag in the middle. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. It's I've also seen one that says we stand for the flag and has everybody at present arms and says we walk with the fallen, and it's guys carrying a casket. So it really depends on who does that. All right, Joseph says Rangers were out of the loop by the 80s, according to my godfather. It made it hard for him to work with other units. Yeah, they are very segregated. They segregate themselves a lot. And it's, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. I don't know how else to put it, except they don't understand the way they do things is not how it's done anymore. So it is what it is, and embarrassing those guys is funny. The only problem is when you have a chain of command who's rangerific, you're not allowed to outshine them. When I was in Hawaii and I got a higher score on my PT test than my ranger team leader did, that motherfucker smoked me for over 2 hours before a 12-mile road march. When we stopped at the 6 mile, I wasn't allowed to get water. He smoked me during that point. He just is, oh, this guy fucked up. I got to teach him a lesson. I'm like, Sergeant, you didn't tell me what I did wrong. You know what you did. No, I have no freaking idea. You don't talk back to me. Front, back, go, front, back, go, front, back, go, and all this other fun shit. Then when I get back, I have enough time to put my gear up in the cages. When I come back down, he literally reaches up, grabs me by my uniform, throws me to the ground, and says, alligator crawl this way. He takes me out to where nobody can see, and he smoked the piss out of me. Why? Because I showed him up. The arrogance. And he's not the only one. I have actually had to walk up to Rangers and say, that's my guy. What did he do wrong? He knows what he did. Did he get a better score than you at the PT test? How'd you know? You fuck off. You get up and follow me. It pisses me off. It pisses me off so much I need a drink. I need a drink. Demon says, I did put my vote in the Discord for your Met game play, though just want to make sure you got it. It was Tank's money and Max starting money. Gave you a small buff for the head start. All right. I'm going to let you know, Demon, when you watch the first episode, everybody wanted, or most everybody wanted me to do the story mode, which is what makes the first one so long. And because of that, there is no tanks to choose. And I mean, hell, hold on. I'll even sit on this page. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. We had a whole bunch for the story on here. Let's see. I asked for salvage or money. The only one person put money on here. I got everybody else said salvage, and somebody said put max salvage. And then it was, starting cash. I got yours on that, Demon. That's one of the high ones there. And tanks or mechs. Originally, a lot of people said tanks. They didn't. Only one person said mechs. The only problem is this bottom one here only works in career mode. I looked it up, guys, twice, and I was just like, well, shit. So I'm sorry I had that on you. If I end up finishing the story mode and you guys want me to do career, I will go by this one. Okay. But yeah, I got the vote and everything. Let's see. We got somebody who's on Prozac and Panic says, hey, sorry I'm late. Just found out my uncle is friends with Steve Perry, the lead singer of Journey. I called BS, so he called him on the phone, and I actually got to talk to him for a bit. It was awesome. I'm sure it was. I personally am not a Journey fan, but you get it. All right, hold on. I said the magic word. But if you are a fan and you got a chance to talk to him, that's great. That's great. You know, I'd be interested to talk to the band of Sabaton, because I like them as a band. But a lot of people don't like metal. So, I mean, you see where I'm going. I'm glad you got that, dude. I'm glad I am actually happy you got a chance to talk to the lead singer there. Because most people don't get a chance to talk to celebrities like that. Let's see. War Sniper, could you do a live reaction to my MechWarrior 2 radio communication on the channel? If you got it on video, send it. Just send it via email, down below there. Just make sure it's not too big and it doesn't send. That's actually the reason why I got Gmail, is because they will send the largest ones. I have my Proton Mail, that's a business account, and it won't send anything larger than like a 10-second video, which I think is bullshit. However, or should I say, but that one is a very privatized network and it's designed specifically for businesses. But yeah, send it over, Sniper. Send it over. He's saying he was a really nice guy. I'm sure he is. Very few people once, you get past a point. Rich people, when they're young, are usually arrogant douchebags, but they get older and then they realize, why am I being a douchebag? I already got the money. I already got the fame. Might as well enjoy it and let other people enjoy it too. Let's see. Guardian says, no problem with you not being able to start with tanks in story mode if the game doesn't allow it. Yeah, I go through the whole thing, and that's one of the reasons why. So the video itself is about an hour and 12 minutes, and the first 30 minutes is just me setting everything up. Yeah. But some of that is just because there's video in there that comes with the game and yada yada, whatever. Demon up here saying, take care, everybody. I got to go back to work. Good luck with the playthrough and good stories. Well, I will keep up with both of them. Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. Send it over. I got no problems with that. I have a copy of Modern Warfare 2 downstairs. I also have Modern Warfare 3, which I think was their magnum opus or prima opus or some sort of orifice thing that they got where they did their best. New chairs aren't exactly the most comfortable, and this thing is like synthetic leather, so my back is literally stuck to it. Fun. That being said, guys, we still have everything going out. If you haven't voted already, we have Syntex Warzone, Metal Tactics, Past Sins, Metal Sin, and Sin Tactics. Those were the 5 that were sent in. If you guys have any particular other ones you want to send in or vote for those, let me know. Because as tomorrow, after I get my dad back from the VA, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be posting that. And we got ourselves a $5 super chat here from Joseph. And to see him on here sending a super chat,
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
He says, Mecha forward. Is that a tank at the bottom of your foot? Bottom of my foot? Oh, if you're in a mech, yeah. Now, I gotta say this. Mech and mecha are 2 very different things. They always have, they always will. A lot of people mix them up. So it is what it is. I don't hold that against people too much for simply because they don't know. Okay, it's like if somebody tried to figure out where my last name, where that's original from, how the hell would they know? I mean, it's just the way it is. Yeah. Skip's up here with another $10. You actually just tacked on 2 weeks, right? He says, Sin, I have 2 things to say. One is a but, and the other 2 is, let me get the thing. Bolshevik.
There, I said it. Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. Now drink.
And I just had to pay my town taxes, which is actually so high I might have to move in the next year or 2. That's how bad the taxes are. That's how bad we have the Bolsheviks. Shit, now I got to drink again. Around here. And it's total bullshit. And you notice how bullshit and Bolshevik actually sounds similar? Gee, I wonder why. So let me move this over here. Thank you guys very, very much. Very much appreciated. Leonid has another idea for Sin Crusader gaming name. Okay. When we get to towards the end of the stream, whatever ones are ahead, if we have a tie, I'm just going to put those 2 up and say, pick one. All right. So also Chris says, that's actually a good point you made. Where does the last name Text come from? Oh, that for the channel. Honestly, that is just a play on the explosive of Syntech. It's actually, if you read the way it's supposed to be, it's not actually syntax when it comes to the explosive. It's close enough, and I figured text as in words on a screen would work. So it's kind of like a double entendre. So yeah, and I meant my actual last name, which I'm not going to say on the stream. That being said, yeah, that's all where that comes from. Just like I actually had an email back in the day with it had the name Slade in it because everybody said I looked like a comic book character. Then I saw the comic book character. I'm like, guys, I have both my eyes and my hair is not white. What the fuck? They're like, yeah, but when you were 14, you were dating a 14-year-old. So it kind of works. I'm like, first off, we didn't date. When your mother is within 2 arms lengths away from you the entire time, it's not a fucking date. You know, if they're behind you when you're sitting in the movie theater to the point where you don't dare even hold her hand, it's not a date. Pure and simple, not a date. So, let me get that down. All right, we're slowing down here in the comment section. However, yeah, just oh, here's what I was going to say. Erica's saying, by the way, Spider-Man beat Supergirl. You know, that wasn't hard to do. That really was not hard to do. Because honestly, Supergirl was so bad. Just so bad. That the bar was so low, you could trip over it. I mean, quite literally. He might not even seen the bar. Now, I'll say this. They've been doing Spider-Man pretty good. And they've been treating the character right for, what, the past decade? I mean, it's no surprising that they got a good actor. They didn't get the best one. I still think the guy who played Desmond Doss when he played Spider-Man, I think he made a more convincing Spider-Man. However, the one they got is not bad. No shade on him at all. At all. He still does an excellent job. He still puts a lot of work in. You know, so, and I don't have a problem with that. So, yeah. But they got a good actor to play. They're not screwing everything up. They're not suddenly trying to focus on Miles just because wokeness or anything like that. They're not trying to bring in Spider-Gwen for all I know. They're trying to give the actual fans the service they want by bringing back characters that actually make fucking sense. When they brought back Doc Ock, I was like, yes, I'm going to go see this. Even though that movie had an actor in it I despise because he is just a racist cunt. Sounds refreshing, but it's really not. I mean, just the guy who plays electroshock therapy there, he is just a racist bigot. I mean, and I don't want to be anywhere near him. However, when they brought back Doc Ock, I'm like, okay, I'll at least watch it. I didn't pay money for the theater, but I did watch it. And most everybody did an excellent job. The CGI was not excellent, but it was really good. Again, they've been treating the character right. So, on that. Let's see. Douglas says, sorry, had to take the dog out to potty. Let's see. Guardian says, it was a monitored date or classic courting. Courting is not courting, by the way. That's courting is actually something very, very different than courting somebody. But yeah, it's... I was just trying to start dating, guys. I thought that was what I was supposed to do, and it seemed like certain people throughout my life have always tried to throw a wrench in everything. I mean, it's so bad that I can't even roll up my sleeve around my dad because I got ink on my shoulder here, and he hates tattoos. And I don't want to hear the same speech over and over and over again. And my brother he literally just walked in and said, we're going to take you to get a tattoo. I'm like, I don't want one. Oh, it's your present. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to Iraq and die. So who gives a fuck? Well, I'm a lot harder to kill than people think. So whatever. Let's see. Chris says, I thought it was from the commissioned work that you were doing that you talked about with some of the people you talked about being freak shows, and it made sense to me. No, I went by a different pen name at that point. I'm not going to share it because honestly, it's embarrassing. It was a very adult type of pen name. And not to say that's the reason I got so many adult things, but I actually tried multiple different pen names, and it's the only one that worked. So anyways, regardless, although I did post it on a throwaway channel back in the day, a few of them when people wouldn't pay me. I hated when they did that. I'm like, come on, you're not even going to put a deposit down for the work. I already started. What the hell? You know, you spend 2 days working on something and then somebody's like, oh, just send it to me for free. Fuck off. I mean, it's a little different now because I still get ad revenue. So I'm not going to go crazy. Oh, I'm glad you brought this up or have all this because I need to bring this up, guys. Within the next week, preferably within the next 2 or 3 days, I will have to do memberships. It's just something YouTube is forcing on everybody. I despise it. However, I don't have a fucking choice. I really don't. They're burying everything I do, and it's just getting ridiculous. Now, before anybody freaks the hell out, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to bring that down for base membership as low as it can go. If it's a fucking nickel, it's a nickel. I don't give a shit. Okay? I will have different tiers and things like that. However, I can only promise so many things because, again, now I'm trying to work on 3 different channels now, plus I got everything else going on. So one thing I can promise, if you're a member of any status, I'm going to make sure to the best that I can, even if I have to, reset the entire computer, that instead of having to wait until midnight, as soon as I'm done, as soon as it's done going through its checks and processes and everything like that, members get first dibs. So that's the best I got. I can't draw any special stickers. I don't have any merch or anything like that. So yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's what's going to be happening with that. And once the other one, which is either going to be Syntactics or Metal Sin, that seems to be the only ones getting multiple votes. If that gets up high enough, I'll be doing memberships on that one as well. But I'm not going to sit here and demand extra money from you guys. I don't like doing that. I really don't. It makes me look like a fucking asshole. And I mean, I am an asshole, but I'm not that kind of asshole. All right. I actually got to remove some of these things from the studio real quick so I can put other stuff in here. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. Going back over. Whoa, shit. Lena says, Sony and Marvel probably have characters I probably don't know about. They probably have a lot. Okay. They have a shit ton, actually, because back in the day, they were trying out everything. There's actually a superhero who, no shit, has detachable arms. He would grab the wrist with whatever hand he needed to hit you with, detach his arm, and hit you with it like it's a baseball bat. And when he merged his hand, it actually like glued together and wouldn't come off until he put his arm back on. And that's how silly things were. And that's why pretty much everything has just about been done, which is what made it so difficult when I created the character for the DC universe. Not Marvel. Marvel, I'm sure, has something like this somewhere. But yeah, you'll find everything. Alina's here saying school dances probably felt like dating for me. So anyways, school dances were going out of style when I was in high school, mainly because nobody understood it. It was supposed to be you start meeting people from other classes that you don't usually hang out with, somebody you thought was attractive or whatnot. And it just ended up into all the cliques just holding together and not mixing or anything like that. And it got to the point where I still remember I went and got a ticket. I was like number 4. I'm like, wait a minute. And the next day they said, yeah, if you bought a ticket, bring it in. We'll refund your money. Brian's up here saying, I'm back.
It's a trap.
And guard up with sorry, I haven't been this talkative at this stream. I'm in the middle of playing Armored Core 6. Oh, I'm sure that's got your hands busy. And it's getting intense. I'm getting my ass beat. Oh, hold on. He's getting his ass beat. I'm actually running out of bullets to put on here. Let me see if I can grab another one real quick to actually have some extras. If I can get this damn thing to open up. While he's doing it, he continues with, I have retired this boss 4 freaking times because it's like the 5th boss you get in the game, and he has a big-ass shield that you have to waste so much ammo to break. I can understand that one. But I'm sure you're still having fun. At least I hope you are. Chris saying, my face makes me look like an asshole. Do I have a button for that?
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Guards up here saying, you know what I say? Just go for a $2 membership. Boom. Problem solved. Hey, if that's okay with everybody, that's what I'll do. Just right across the board. And that, by the way, that'll be monthly. I'm just not a fan of the subscription model. It's killing everything. It's killing fucking cars of anything. I kid you not. I've seen subscription models for things like using the radio, your heated seats, your air conditioning to turn on the goddamn car. I've seen subscription models for the house where you can't get in your front door unless you pay them like $800 a month. I'm sitting there like, what is with the subscription model? You're just nickel and diming everybody to fucking death, and then pretty soon you're not going to have a chance. I mean, hell, you go to a like a Dave & Buster's, it's like you need a subscription just to look at the fucking menu. I'm sorry for cursing, guys, but this is getting just freaking nuts. Ugh. And if that's okay with everybody, I'll just $2 across the board and call it a day. Douglas says, nobody wanted to go on dates with me to dances because I have native blood. I'm guessing where you were, that was a big thing. Where I grew up, and I should say when I grew up, that was not a big thing. Actually, that might have got you dates in that case. Guard says, oh, yeah, they introduced the detachable arm guy in Suicide Squad 2. Really? He was killed in the first 20 minutes, literally died of a heart attack. Oh, man. I didn't even know they did that. I picked one of them out of there. There's like the assassin named Mallow who grows extra bone parts naturally. So she breaks them off and stabs people with them. Not to mention her bones are exceptionally hard, but the rest of her is still nice, soft, and squishy, you know. Let's see, Eric says, you seem like you need a shoulder massage in this live stream. And last, I'm sorry you are this stressed, but now I know why. No, I need a shoulder massage because my back, I've been trying to fix a arched shoulders for the past week, and it's just tight as all hell. But as far as, yeah, it's just been a messed up week. I mean, I can't even go feed the chickens without the young chickens literally climbing on my hands. I mean, I like it when the chickens are friendly, but this is a little ridiculous. One of them actually pecks at your fingers, and I keep backhanding her little feathery ass. And, well, not her ass, her face. She'll still peck at you again. I'm like, you jerk. Let's see. Gart says he was trying to fight some soldiers by having them detach and try to take their weapons, but instead he got lit up like 7 different guys. Yeah. And, oh, that's funny, Chris. That's you know, I'm gonna actually put that up here. Toilet subscriptions are next. Is it bad? I can actually see this happening. Holy fuck. Like at an Airbnb or at a hotel or something like that, or God help us at these smart homes. Oi, Chihuahua. Oh my God. It's bad enough over in Europe and the UK. Now you have to sign up and prove that you're 18 to watch YouTube. And YouTube has extremely strict policies on what you can and can't show. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. All right, over here we got Bite Me saying, greetings, programs. Hey, Bite Me, since you're new, we got a vote going on for the new channel where I go through, well, I'm starting with Battletech, but I'm going to be going through different games and talking about the different tactics used. We got six possible names, and you guys get to choose. We got Syntax Warzone, Metal Tactic, Pass Sin, Metal Sin, Sin Tactics, and Sin Crusader. So whichever one sounds good to you, and please don't say anyone you want. I hate when I ask people a question and say, oh, I don't care, anyone you want. I'm like, yeah, go away somewhere else. I don't have time. So yeah, just let me know which one you think. Leading it up here, I think I can probably talk about it. Cat girls in Chain Smoker Cat come from a tribe of tobacco growing tribe of space aliens. Their spaceship crash landed on Earth centuries ago. The chief of the tribes is hiding a sci-fi ray gun and will try to shoot people if they insult her tribal tattoos. Interesting. And Bite Me says he wants Syntax simulations. That's what I was just writing down. So we'll see how that one goes. Now we have 7 to choose from. Yeah, you got to be careful about those sci-fi ones. I mean, I guess the tribal chief is a bit of a pussy. He's just going to shoot you, not going to face you, and he's got claws and teeth, right? Let's see. Guard says, oh, yeah, the bone chick is also dead. Really? They killed her off, too. Literally died after jumping onto a helicopter and throwing several spines into the pilot. One of her spikes got caught and she got blowed up. Oof. She went kablooey. I'm sure at that point she said,
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Right as the whole thing was about to blow up. And of course, deathbed with good town taxes. I don't own a chopper and the last name ain't Punishet, so I don't know where that last part goes. But yeah, around here, a lot of people say they have county. We don't have county. We have town. We have town. We have state. And this town likes to very much waste money on a lot of shit. Right now, we have an activist as our first selectman, and the guy is obsessed with making a new school when all he has to do is refit the old one. And they're trying to say, oh, no, the new one was going to be cheaper to build than redoing the old one. I'm like, we have half as many children in this town as we did when I was growing up. And even then, the classes were a little light. It doesn't make fucking sense. What are you doing? So whatever. This guy, I don't know what the hell he's doing. I'm just confused as all fuck. All I know is our taxes are so damn high. A lot of people are looking on leaving and they don't know if they're going to have a buyer. I'm scrolling down, guys. It's okay. Guard here says, oh, he's talking about the girl with the spikes. He says, which also caused the death of Boomerang Man. Oh, you mean Captain Boomerang? Yeah. to which you actually pissed off a lot of people because he was a survivor from the first movie and people really liked him. To be honest, I don't blame them. Now, the thing with Captain Boomerang is he was a founding member and always was of the Suicide Squad. There was always Harleen Quinzel, Deadshot, I think it was, and Captain Boomerang. Those were the three. A lot of people say that Killer Frost, Louise Lincoln, was also a founding member. I've seen ones that show she wasn't. So honestly, it could go either way. All I know is the character I made for the DC universe actually kind of pisses off Killer Frost because he's always trying to hook up with her. And she doesn't like the idea. But he's just something about her in a different universe because he jumps universes just makes him like instantly like gravitate towards her. And it's honestly, I thought it'd just be a funny little skit to put in, turned into a running gag. Just like the whole thing of him mistaking what universe he's in and like giving his enemies hugs and wanting to punch his friends. And it's just a weird thing. Speaking of weird, Bite Me is saying Chain Smoking Cat is an insane anime. I guess if that got cut off, it'd cause you a little bit of
emotional damage.
But is what it is. Anyway, Erica says smart homes are just another cause of death for renting and home ownership. Absolutely. In the next 5+ years, working homelessness numbers will be up tenfold than what they are. I don't even think this is going to take that long. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to do the van life deal. And when they do that and they start getting ahead, what's going to happen? They're going to start cracking down and saying, oh, no, you can't live like this. Oh, no, that's a bad thing. Oh, no, you can't pay a gym $50 a month to go and use their facilities. You don't actually work out, but you shower and you brush your teeth there. That means that you need to pay them more and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, stop it. Now, I will say this. Anybody who does the whole van thing to save money, okay, I understand it. Anybody who thinks getting an actual RV to do the same thing, you are shooting yourself right in the ass. Some of you might like that, but I will tell you that that's a bad idea. The depreciation rate on RVs, most of them, is the same as luxury cars. And if you just had about 3 layers of skin crawl down your back at thinking about those numbers, I'm not even kidding. I just saw the numbers myself, and when it comes to actual no shit RVs, the depreciation rate is just insane. We're talking RVs that originally started somewhere around $150,000 to $200,000. You can now buy for just over 30, and they're only about 5 or 6 years old. It's crazy. I mean, granted, some of these only get maybe 9 to 11 miles per gallon. So unless you're pretty well off, you can't afford to fill this thing. And unless you have a place to dump your black water, you're in trouble. I mean, you can get water to wash yourself anywhere. Hold on, saying the magic word, but if you're not ready for that type of lifestyle, it's going to kick you right in the jick. It's just the way it is. It's going to kick you in the balls, or in some cases ovaries, and it's not going to let up. If you can swing it, though, some people swear by it. So to each their own. All right, down here, Chris says, I can't believe they off John Cena. How could they see him? I don't, maybe I'm missing something. As far as if they killed off his character or something like that, got rid of him, I don't know. That guy has been basically paying homage to the TV and movie industries for years. Whatever. When they had him walk out bare ass to give an award, I'm like, dude, no. No. What I don't know what you did, but they have got you by the shortest of short hairs, and they're twisting. I mean, they got them glued to your friggin', literally one of these glued to your sack, and they're holding on to it. And they're just like, if you don't do what we say, we're going to twist even harder. I don't know what they got on him. I don't really care, but they got to he's got to just cut and run. Let's see. Erica says, for the school, pretty school equals new blood in the area. You would think so. But where they want to put this thing up is the middle of God's nowhere cubed. I'm not even kidding. They want to put it up on a hill that has no overlook. And because there's no overlook, there's no flat land, which means no recess area. And they say, oh, don't worry, we'll end up dynamiting that area flat. Fuck you, okay? We just said no a couple years ago to one of those giant Amazon things coming in because it was going to do the exact freaking thing. Big old switchbacks for the friggin' semis. I'm sorry, but if I had kids in a New England winter, when it gets real bad, I don't want them on a bus on a switchback on the side of a hill. If you don't know what that is, that's when the roads zigzag down the hill because the hill's too goddamn steep. I don't know. I have this thing about black ice. I have seen it's almost killed me at least twice that I remember. And the last thing I need is one of these buses full of fucking children. Grade school, like kindergarten through third grade children on black ice sliding down a freaking hill. I know those buses are rugged. Okay. I've seen videos. We've all seen of them flipping over, sliding over, and they keep their integrity, but the kids inside don't. So and they can say pretty school. I mean, you're not wrong, Erica. You are correct. It does draw some into the area. However, you can have the prettiest school and have the worst education there. How do I know this? I have seen it when I was a recruiter. The school that looked like a moratorium, looked like it should double as a fucking morgue, had the highest ratings. And the one that was the prettiest school had a mediocre at best. One that was middling was the absolute worst. And that was the one they nicknamed Herpy High for good reason. I actually got someone from that school into the Army. She had 3 internal terminations by the time she finished high school. You know where I'm going with that. Don't say the actual word because you won't be able to send it via the chat box. But yeah, just think about that one. That's why even Terrence Pop. Now, he got this from me when I told him about a few high school students that I've seen. And yeah, they walk across the stage for their high school diploma with a 1,000-cock stare. Literally, the mouth can't close. Anyway, I went down the fucking rabbit hole, didn't I, guys? All the way down that rabbit hole. Oh, fuck me, I'm falling. So anyways, I don't care about how pretty the school is. I need it to work. There's practicality. See, Doug says some of his friends and relatives that own companies that would involved in construction. Oh, involved in construction. I got you. Okay. Yep. I understand there. How do I know about the whole construction thing? I was in the union. I had to deal with a couple of these people who thought they actually owned something when they didn't actually pay any money, which was kind of funny when you walk over and everybody's holding tools and they're sitting there like, do realize we lean to the left. Somebody walks behind them with a friggin' pipe wrench the size of their head going, you want to say that one again? Yeah, that was a fun day. One of a few. Okay, Lena's here saying, I probably don't really remember everything. Episode 4 of Nicotine Cat probably had horny old guy in the mafia that was dying because he got shot. And they had said, Cat Girl, go and hold his hand because you are like family. And when she did, he got recovered to full health because he was, how do I put this? Oh, yeah, forgot to put the switch up there. So yeah, hey, you find your energy where you find your energy, folks. It is what it is. Skip up here says, here's a chuckle for you. Dr. Tyson, I don't say the whole name. I just say Dr. Tyson and leave it alone. And if anybody says he has two last names like they're hyphenated, no, you get one last name. Even in the Army, somebody came up with a hyphenated name, you got one of them. I don't give a fuck what his middle name is. So anyway, Dr. Tyson put out videos saying that we can't ever go to Mars or leave the solar system. Therefore, sci-fi is dead, and we should all change over to Westerns. What fun. It used to be said that no person could ever leave the ground for sustained flight because you weren't born with wings. Well, technology fucking changes. It's just, I know. But the thing is, a lot of the technology we're supposed to have, you guys know, I know, they're hiding it. They will not let us have it because they're making too much money. If you look at what they did with Tesla, when he said we could get you free energy and free Wi-Fi and free this and free that, and how the Rockefellers and everybody else not only destroyed his career, but pulled his funding when he absolutely needed it the most, and then claimed, not proven, but claimed that Tesla owed him money. That's why Tesla died so destitute. That motherfucker was a genius. He was sent here to raise us up. And what happened? The super rich, just like crabs in a bucket, tore him down and tore him apart. Ugh. It just, ugh. For what? For money. Fuck all that noise. We should already have our molecular assemblers, and money should be, like when I put in that story, money should be certain bars of certain metal. Literally, here's a certain metal that's extremely hard to make, i.e. latinum, that sort of thing. The thing is, it'd be really hard to carry around coins of those because they're extremely heavy. Holy fuck. You ever actually held a gold coin and felt the weight of that? Now, times that by like 30 out of one coin. It's almost hard to lift your hand up in. So, yeah. Chris over here says, hold on, I want to live in a van down by the river. Everybody remembers that skit. It is truly a one of a kind. And I will say, I was never a Chris Farley fan. But I will say he hit that line perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. So anyway, hold on. I got to do one thing right here. And this is, let's see, Bite Me says, I'm tired of the elite forcing the people out of their homes into dirt like a worm to die in a ditch, far enough away so they don't have to smell it. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. I mean, the whole not in my backyard. I mean, just look at what happened in Martha's Vineyard. They sent all the, you know what? I'm not going to get into that one because that's an extremely hot topic. I'm just going to leave that one as far alone as I possibly can. You guys know where I was going with that. So, yeah. Lean says, I thought that I knew the lore of the Major from Ghost in the Shell, but I don't know why people think she was a male. Her cybernetic body is basically government property because according to and this is from the original lore when it was written back in the 80s. I actually read the book. Yes, there was a book. It is no longer in print, and good luck trying to find it. It clearly states that the Major was male, however, chose the female body, actually chose the whole thing, the face, the way the body is, everything else, specifically because he wanted it as a psychological weapon. He realized when he watched a woman not get shot, or at bare minimum, they hesitated before they squeezed the trigger, and he realized that few seconds is all he really needs. So, all right, we got Alan saying, sorry, a little late. Hey, Alan, quick question. For the new channel, talking about tactics in different games and stuff like that. Now I'm starting with Battletech. Question about the name. We have 7 different options people have sent in. Please vote for one of these and don't throw your own in. We got Syntax Warzone. We got Metal Tactic. We got Past Sins. We got Metal Sin. We got Sin Tactics. We got Sin Crusader and Syntax Simulations. Try saying that one 10 times fast. If one of those kind of works for you, throw it in, and I'm still taking the tally. Okay, Guardian says, you have to wonder how American society would change if a president managed to force through a constitutional amendment that makes it illegal to terminate a human life that hasn't been conceived of a capital crime, i.e. forced conception. And yes, technically that is the term, forced conception. Which, by the way, I still think should be a capital punishment. I think they should be taken out and parts removed with a rusty blade. And that includes women, by the way, who do this sort of thing. However, if that's the case and it brings a capital crime, that means anybody who lies to get a conviction on said crime and they find out that it was done falsely, then they will also be facing something similar. They will have something removed. So, yeah. So, you know, as barbaric as it sounds, it works. Okay. If you guys have read Starship Troopers, when they talk about the capital punishment, and I believe there was 12 different things that would actually get you hanged. Not hung, because that's different. Hanged is the actual word. I'm for that. You know, there are extreme circumstances for certain things. Like if you're obviously protecting your own property and yourself, if you end somebody, then you're not going to be convicted of murder. All right, Alan says, playing Eve and forgot the time. No problem. Speaking of which, I just saw the video where the player, one of the top players in the world, had contacted everybody and said, okay, meet here at a certain time. And it was basically his last wish. The guy had something seriously fucking wrong with him. And he brought everything he had, all his dreadnoughts, all his battleships and everything like that. And he just turned to everybody and said, fire on my ships. And a few thought he was nuts. And it's like, why would we do that? You asked us here. And when they found out why, they said, okay, we'll send you out with a bang. And they sure did. Let's see. Lena says, we have not yet used nuclear-powered engines for spaceships. Now, nuclear-powered for spaceships doesn't quite work. You can't just turn energy on and move. You can, however, use that power to create a gravitational pull in the bow of the ship and have that pull you forward. So if you're talking that way, then yes. You are absolutely 100,000% correct. Let's see. Doug says the current president is trying to eliminate the amendments that give women the right to vote, and the 14th eliminates slavery. Dude, the 14th is the female right to vote. The 13th is the end of slavery. I know because I used to run this all the time. I used to ask people on the way to MEPS, what piece of paper, what legislation have you actually end slavery? And they would always say the Emancipation Proclamation. That's not true. The only thing that did was make it illegal to bring in more slaves into the southern states. And that was meant to just like piss them off and allow them rights to serve in the U.S. Army if they come from a southern state. A lot of people don't actually read it. But as far as the 14th, or as far as voting goes in particular, if you don't have fucking skin in the game or have put said skin in the game, I don't believe you should be able to allowed to vote. If you are not a landowner or at bare minimum a veteran, no, I don't think so. Again, straight from Starship Troopers. And they don't even allow cops to vote in Starship Troopers. They don't allow firemen, active firemen, to vote. They don't even allow retirees. If you did not serve in the military honorably, you don't get the right to fucking vote, period. And why is that? Because if you're in the police department or the fire department, you're tied to the union. The union controls your vote. So, shocker, can't have that. Militaries don't have unions. They would fall apart in days if they had a union. Actually, they would take the entire country with them. So, yeah. When it comes to the voting, if you haven't served, I personally think you should actually fully retire. However, or I should say, but one could say that once they're out, you're good. However, there should be provisions where you're not tied to certain organizations, and the union is one of them. And don't get me wrong, if you're in the union, fine. I was in the union, Local 660, Buffalo, New York. Unions are good for temporary. They are not good for long term. If you bring them long term, they're going to sink everybody, because they'll literally walk up and say, see this job that's only supposed to cost you guys $10,000? Yeah, it's only going to cost $10,000, but I want you to pay me $150,000. Why? Because I told you to. And I'm going to stop everybody else from working here unless you pay me that much. That's fucking extortion. Let's see. Alan says Sims sounds good to me. So simulators, that's what you're going for? Syntax simulations? Okay. I'll put that down. Let's see. Lena says, I remember that in the backstory, they have made Major to be a teen girl who survived a plane crash. I think they probably go with that too. When it comes to Ghost in the Shell, they have redone the lore on that multiple times. It's so much so that it's one of those I don't even look into anymore. Just like with, as soon as they started making all the different X-Men's, they lost a lot of people reading because they didn't know which one they're reading anymore. Uncanny, Ultimate, OG, Effortless, Over the Top, Mixed Up, New, Pre-New, Post-Op, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know. It's whatever X-Men's they got. It's just crazy. But it's the same way with Ghost in the Shell. There's too many. And as soon as you start fucking with the consistency, you lose everybody. Okay, Leon says, I think I've seen a YouTube shorts with the creator making anime-style characters. Mara Jade is extremely smug and sassy. Mara Jade, i.e. Luke Skywalker's wife, was originally very smug. That's until she got rid of the brainwashing. You know, she had to actually fall in love with Luke and kill his clone before that finally broke. And yeah. Mara Jade was actually, they should have brought her in. And here's the fun part about the Mara Jade character. The reason they will not bring her in, because the fans will fucking riot if they do not make her, or at least have a actor who looks somewhat like her, i.e. pale extremely, the very bright eyes of either blue or green, depending on who you talk to, and the flaming red hair, as in looks like it was a bad dye job red hair, like unbelievably red, like redder than the YouTube logo red. And they're like, oh no, we can't have that. Red hair people bad. Again, fuck off. It's just, and Mara Jade was, I mean, especially when she was protecting her kids, was badass. There's no other way to put it. She was a fucking badass. But heaven forbid you have a badass who's not a, what do they call Mary Sue. All right, Guards up here says, I remember that event for EVE Online. It got so big that even the devs were taking extra servers that earlier were in use or were barely being used and connected them to keep the server going. Yes, they did. They said they had maybe 15 servers connected to that one to keep the fight that magnitude going, especially since it kept getting bigger and with more ships joining. Yeah, it was a hell of a send-off. And unfortunately, the kid's not around anymore. And his dad, you can actually see the interview with him after his son passed. And he's actually smiling because he's so grateful to everybody for giving his son that big of a joy. Let's see. Skip says, in the late 70s, Playboy. Hold on. I got to say this. Put out a one panel with two hitmen standing over a dead man. The one hitman said, I don't consider it murder. I consider it a retroactive unaliving. Spin it any way you want, pal. When somebody shoots you, it's just going to be the same thing. And that's the thing. A lot of these, and that's one of the things that actually ended the mafia as we used to know it, was the fact that they would go in, and the mafia would say, either you do this or we go after your family. Well, what happened is these guys are saying, you know what, we can get firearms too. We can get them illegally, usually through the mafia guys, which means we can go after the mafia family too. And we're not just going to take out the family. We're going to take out the extended family at the same time. And that was enough where the mafia, because they're bullies, pure and simple, as soon as they faced actual consequences, well, they got bitch slapped down to where they're supposed to be. Now, are there still mafia? Yes. Are there as many as before? Hell no. And they don't have the pull they used to. Now, one could say that the super rich are mafia. Yeah, but they're also lost in the sauce. If they can't get other people to work for them, they die. Pure and simple, they die. They don't know how to survive without other people doing shit for them. So they're actually scared out of their minds. Let's see. Lena's here with, have you seen Skyrim, but it's a modern video game? I have not. There's a Skip with Sin Sims sounds great. Okay. Well, so far that one's ahead on votes. The three in the lead right now is Metal Sin, Sin Tactics, and Syntax Sims or Sin Sims here. God damn, I can't freaking talk. So if anybody wants to put in any more votes, by all means, focus on those three. If you find one that jumps out from Sin, Sin Tactics, or Metal Sin, whichever one works for you, by all means, put it in, because we're only going to be going on because I see the chat box is starting to get a little low here. And I'm going to rest my throat a little bit by doing something down here. Where was it? Here's something. Here's one. Why not? Suppressive fire, right? All right. Let me top this off because I just drank most of the apple juice that was still in there. No, I'm not normally this red. That's the, it's kind of a mess up because there's a light up there. That's why it's all kind of hazy. And it's actually bouncing off the green screen and causing my skin to look like this. I know. Weird, right? So anyways, guys, as far as the other channel is going to go, like I said, I will be focusing on that tomorrow as soon as we get back from the VA. Don't be surprised if it's there. I will drop it in the Discord. The problem is Discord still seems to not like me. I don't know if I got to pay somebody, if I got to play with somebody's friggin' junk or something like that to make sure it works. It is just not letting people in. So I'll put it there, and if anybody wants to disseminate it to everybody else, you know, be my guest. Please do. I will also be putting it down as you have. If you go down into the description box, I have a standard that I go in that goes across. You know, here's the over for BitChute, and I haven't posted there in a long time. However, it's got all the different things there, just like the email address and whatnot, and I will post it in there. And so it will be there for all the other videos. That being said, you want me to hold up the list? Brian wants me to hold up the list. Okay. Okay, as you can see, you got Warzone, Metal Tactics. God damn, it's in my oh yeah, Pass Sin, Metal Sin, Sin Tactics, what was that? Sin Crusader. And down here we got Sin Sims or Syntax Simulations. Now, most everybody's saying Sin Sims is the one that's there. So let's see. Oh shit. Wow, so everything just jumped in. Let's see. Chris saying, I don't go down. Who said that? What picks may you have? Let's see. Chris saying, I like Syntactics. Okay, now we have two up on there. Guardian says, good night, peace, and a long life. And Guardian.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And just trying to make this right so I know who's there. Just so you guys know, and again, I've shown this before, but I write down who on here has actually sent stuff in and who actually has weeks on standby, how many weeks you still got and everything like that. And basically, everybody who comes in from the previous week is going to be on top. Everybody else, it really depends on your amount you send in, where you're going to be on that list. So that's how that goes in case you guys had any questions. All right, let's see. Erica says, do a community post and poll. I'll send you a link to a video. Okay, via email. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. And it looks like Brian's out. Looks like a few other people are out because we've been going for almost 2 hours. I mean, we've had this going on the live stream for about 3 hours, but that one in particular, I had a lot of videos. I had a lot of topics. It was just one of those nights. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those nights. Me, I just topped everything off to try and thin out the apple juice. But I can still taste or feel the apple juice going through my system. Oh, I love that when you got a burp, but it won't come up. It's right there on the edge, sitting there. Anyway. All right, so. And Brian put in for Sin Sims. So, yep, that's tacked on there. I will look into actually putting it up there, Erica. Just the thing is, it's taken me a long time to write the get some. And unfortunately, I think I pulled that. Yeah, I did. I removed it. And where the thing was where I clicked on for get some is now this, which honestly, I think this is better. Too bad I can't use it as a thumbnail because I would get a friggin' just buried by the algorithm. I mean, then again, you could have this, but again, algorithm. And then, of course, I can't use this because it's copyright. So it's all messed up. Let's see. Erica's saying, check out Dinosaurs of the Wild West. Looks like it's going to be good. What's Dinosaurs of the Wild West? Dinosaur ass of the Wild West. Sorry, I don't write very good shorthand. Chris is thinking for a title, Cinnabons. Oh man, I would be so screwed on that. But I'll tell you what, It'd be catchy. Truly, it'd be catchy. However, or I should say, but there'd be a problem with that. And that does not sound like a simulation or tactical or any type of video game type of channel. I need something that's going to be similar to it. I originally I looked at, and there was another channel that was doing it similar called Daily Tactics, I believe he was. And honestly, I watched him do Army Men, and I was just put back by it, because he was playing like somebody who was a 20-year-old who's never been out of a basement. He's literally just trying to spam as many units as possible, and he's not trying to limit his losses. He's just trying to get as many things as possible and doing it basically communist style, the way the Chinese used to do it. They would just get everybody in this big mass, and they would run, and the front row wouldn't have anything. They'd just be running, and then maybe 3 or 4 or sometimes 10 rows back, somebody had a rifle, and behind them, they got ammo. And so if somebody dies, you just pick up the rifle and you just keep going. That's the way he was doing it. Now, something very simple, and I'm going to use this here as a prop. Okay. And this was for Army Men. Say you're inside an enclosed area that's square like this. Okay. You're here, and the enemy's up here, and they're going to be coming down, and they're going to fuck up your shit. All right. But you have limited space to build. So you have to try and figure out what you're going to put in, where, and stuff like that. Dude, you can buy a helicopter. You fly up, you go to the other side, and you put all your resources on the other side of that wall. They call them power plants, but it's literally just getting plastic that you build stuff out of. All you do is put all your resources over there, and then you can have your like weaker stuff, like your air bases and whatever, or air strips and everything like that on the back end. And then you just start building your front line. And once it's holding, you have your troops going up, your soldiers, and then you build another front line and use those cannons, which are a lot more powerful, to shoot over. And then you literally, in a very slow manner, plunging fire your way up until you hit them. It's crazy how simple that fucking tactic is, and nobody does it. It's just, it blows my mind, because nobody even thinks, okay, use the terrain to your advantage. Duh. I need a minute. I just need a second to just wrap my brain around how stupid these guys are. Okay. Now, I will say this. A few of them do get it right. Like if you have a big wall between you and, say, the enemy base, you work your way up next to the wall, and you use your indirect fire to launch over the wall, and you just spam build them right there. And then you're literally bombarding them with so much force they can't build fast enough. It is so easy to do that. And the kicker is, I've seen guys who are actually playing against real players, and they don't guard the side. And suddenly they're realizing, oh shit, we got all these mortars, all this artillery, all this shit going down. Send people to go and stop them. Oh shit, you telling me that right at the end of this doorway, somebody set up a row of friggin' Pac 40s to friggin' shoot everybody, and machine gunners and shit like that are just sitting there ready to fuck everybody's day up? Well, shocker. If people actually think it through, they'll actually do it right, which is what the other one is about. All right. Eric is saying, now I want cinnamon rolls. Actually, and Chris, of course, making very good cinnamon rolls. Me personally, I don't bake. I have no reason to bake. Unless it's a roast, I don't have a reason to bake. I make a very good roast, by the way, usually a venison roast, because I've usually shot the fucking thing that morning, and it's usually in there by the afternoon. Eric is saying Trader Joe's has God canned cinnamon. I'm sure that was supposed to be good because that's lowercase. I don't go to Trader Joe's, so I'm going to have to take your word for it. Not that I have anything against them. There's just none around here. Let's see. Chris says, my favorite tactic overseas was the button hook. It worked every time, flanking, or my favorite was false retreat. And as far as the button hook, you're talking about Battle Drill 1 Alpha, the standard drill that every single infantry man must know. Yes, that is the flanking maneuver to come across where you have two different ones, one shooting forward, one's coming from the side, and you send over your usually Bravo team to come from the side. They start moving over. Once they get in, you shift fire over so you're not shooting them. And as they line up, you're going to hear lift fire. These guys stop shooting. These guys assault forward. And then as soon as they say last man or, LOA, limited advance, they cover again. So you're literally hitting the objective twice. And everybody is nothing but chunky salsa by the time you're done because everybody's putting half a magazine into every body. Yep, I know all about that. And false retreat, I have used one time, and it was a training event. And we like to call it baited ambush. But yes, false retreat, it was the official original name for it. Chris, you were 100% right on that. Don't make it, I don't want to sound like I'm saying you're wrong. You are absolutely right. We would actually like shoot at them and run, and they would say, oh, it's only two guys. Maybe it's a fire team. We can run them down. We can take them out. Next thing they know, they're in the middle of an ambush being light the fuck up. And when we ran them into that ambush, I was laughing so damn hard because we didn't turn around. We were told, no matter what you do, don't stop running. We're like, okay, I'm not going to stop running. And we got to where we were supposed to be, and we just started laughing. We're like, oh, those dumbasses. Of course, if I had been a young lieutenant, I might have done the same thing, even though we could hear the NCO screaming, don't follow him, sir. Don't follow him, sir. And it turned into that scene from We Were Soldiers Once and Young, where the lieutenant wanted to earn medals and stuff like that. I'm like, that's a quick way to freaking end up dead. Lean says, as soon as the military surrounds you into a cauldron, then you're in trouble. Yeah. It's actually cul-de-sac. When you got a U-shaped ambush, that's a cul-de-sac. A cauldron is you're actually surrounded. However, that is extremely unadvised because as soon as you're starting to aim your guns in the direction of your buddies, you have a good chance of accidentally shooting them, which is why the two-sided ambush is what you want. People come down, they catch fire from the front and from the side. There's no place to hide, really. However, I do have to say this because I kind of felt bad for her. At the same time, I remember running up and calling her a dumbass. And she's like, Drill Sergeant, you're not supposed to call me that. I was like, shut up, whack. Listen to me, dumbass. You see where he's shooting from? Yeah, don't turn your back on him. And what had happened is very simple. I was a drill sergeant, and we have this one where they're firing simunitions. Usually our best shooters are the ones shooting. Their job is to shoot past you. So you actually hear that as it's going past. And your job is to do what's known as a 3 to 5 second rush. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. And if you're not behind a bunker, you do another one or you squirrel up to it. Now, as soon as you're behind a bunker, the guys shooting are not going to try and shoot you. Their job is to put a couple of rounds in that bunker to remind you, keep your fucking head down. And, okay. She got close to the bunker, and when she heard the simunitions, i.e. the training rounds, which, by the way, sting like a bitch, but they're not going to kill you, hit that wooden bunker, she freaked out. Instead of coming to the bunker, the rounds hit here. She went around and turned away with her gigantic ass facing the guy. And he's literally going, Drill Sergeant, what do I do? I go, put a couple in her ass. Pop, pop, pop. She's she's freaking. She's just freaking out. And then I ceasefire everybody. And yeah. Went up, called her a dumbass, had to restart the lane. She was the only one out of the entire platoon that got recocked. And she had to go through it again. She did not enjoy it. However, the second time she did it right. And she was like, oh my God, all I'm going to do is push paperwork. I don't need to know this. I'm like, it's called basic combat training for a reason. You ever thought maybe we're training you on this because maybe you just might need it, and maybe, just maybe, you're going to actually need to make sure you're still alive at the end of it, dumbass. All right, let's see. Chris says, drones have changed so much in battle. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. As soon as the Switchblades came out, now I was on my way out at the time. I was actually a drill when they came out, officially when they came out. Now I had seen them before, so we got a chance to see how they worked. And yes, it's pretty cool. I mean, they just pull it up. You just pull it, set it up, and you're sitting there. You put your head down because it's like a mortar round. You don't want to be facing it. Pa! Goes off. Funky tablet. I'm just looking over the guy's shoulder through the whole thing. Sure enough, guy's the target. He hits that little whatever button that makes it go faster, and whoosh, hits, and we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's like, yeah, it's great. You do this, you do that. I'm like, oh. However, most people don't want to use those types of drones simply because if you have too many in the air, you're going to have cross signals. Not a good idea. And also, wireless drones tend to get jammed very quickly. That being said, they still work. However, what happened is a bunch of us who had started working with the Raven and everything like that, we understood drones already. We understood them at the very basic of basic levels. And if you understand a weapon system at the basic of basic levels, you understand how to defeat said weapon system at every level. Because if they can't do the basics, they're done. So that's why as soon as the drones switched to the wired systems and everything like that, and people got smart about the whole thing, yeah, you're right. Drones changed a lot in the battlefield. They did not change the entire battlefield. One thing that everybody thought, and honestly, I had to look this up because I thought it was a joke. It's not a joke. When the North Koreans went into Russia to fight against Ukraine, a lot of these drone pilots were trolling the piss out of them because these guys had never even heard of a drone. They didn't know what was flying at them. They started shooting out with AK, not realizing you need a friggin' shotgun because you need a widespread, because all you had to do is damage one of the props and the whole thing comes down. And there's plenty of videos of them trolling these guys, just like buzzing the head and taking off, spinning around, come back, buzzing someone else. And it's funny as all shit. You would think that's what took out the North Koreans. You would be wrong. What took out the North Koreans was the fucking internet. As soon as these guys saw the video of women doing, do I have a picture here? I'll go with this one. Say they see this, they will spend the next 6 to 8 hours inside their hooch, and they're not coming out. They might be, how do I put this? Well, they are coming out, just not in the way you would think. And a few of them not only had to go and get salve and stitches and stuff like that, but they were combat ineffective, and a few guys actually gave themselves heart attacks just out of being able to look on the as like, you never know what's going to take them out. And here's the fun part. Anime had figured this out. You don't know what's going to take them out. Because what took out the fucking Zentradi and Robotech? A young girl singing was enough to make their entire army go, I'm going to simp for her. I don't want to raise my weapons no more. And sure enough, they're all staring so long, they either got killed or they surrendered because they just wanted to get that dopamine hit so bad. So, yeah. It's not. I'm just saying this because drones aren't the only thing that changed it. You got it. And I try to deal with this with my writing. You got to deal with different cultures, even human cultures. Now, as you guys know, who have actually watched the video that dropped today at 5 o'clock, I have not seen the comments. The name, there's an actual named character. Guess what? Things will actually be a bit more clear about his character later on, because what you think you know is not what you know, you know? And again, different cultures. And their culture is going to try to figure out what's going on. And that's one of the reasons it's taken so long, because I'm dealing with at least 8 different cultures to include our own, which can be very odd depending on where in the planet you come from. All right. That's enough of me down the rabbit hole. We got Alan with, I used to do a wire behind tanks with landmines on a wire. As they back up, they stop and mess everything up. That's interesting. Do you do a magnetic friggin' lock to them? That ought to be fun. Lena says, drones are flies. They need a fly swatter. Yes, right tool for the right job. Fucking men. You're right, Leonid. Absolutely right. Okay, and he also says, get into anti-air vehicles. They actually have a lot of anti-drone, anti-air stuff now. They even have a type of laser that zaps it. It's the same, well, if you do it at a very low setting, it's the same one you see that's zapping mosquitoes out of the sky. I'm sure you've all seen videos of that. They have one specifically for drones that will zap, at minimum, 50 drones at the same time. And it's not even a wide spectrum EMP like you would think. These are individual shots. So, yeah, drone warfare did change them. But the problem is, you got to remember technology, when it changes, you have the standard offense versus defense. And this is why I look at Battletech as a lot closer to reality than people think. Because the fact of the matter is, you might be able to pick someone up on sensors, but you can't lock them up. The same thing with our standard systems with the F-22, F-35. Can you get picked up with the F-22? Yeah, but it's such a minute a signal, you can't actually lock a weapon system onto it. And the weapon system would get lost. It can't think for itself. So, yeah, there's that. So you need line of sight. And pretty soon, if stealth capability goes to every single military on the planet, it's literally been reverted to old-fashioned dogfighting, because those Sidewinders ain't going to be able to catch on shit. Those Mavericks especially, I mean, those things are antiques. You know, your SMs coming out of your ships aren't going to be able to find your target, at least not until you're literally line of sight and they're already firing their weapons. So, yeah, technology can force everybody to regress when it comes to fighting style. That's why they say war changes, but the soldier does not. The soldier simply adapts. Okay. Let's see. Chris saying, the new counter drone tech is interesting. They based it off the laser anti-mosquito. Yep. Actually, some people say it's the other way around, but yeah, I was just talking about that. You're right. Oh yeah. Chris saying the Minmay defense. Yep. Operation Minmay. They did that in the movie and it didn't work because they had their own singers. So you don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. Lena says, I've heard that laser failing. Oh, I've heard that the laser failing lots of times because it's in the sand and lots of drones are dying to the EM jamming. Yeah, depends. It very much depends on the drone. 100% depends on the drone. If you have a wired, the jamming just doesn't work. The problem is the wires are, they're questionable because they're so thin, for one. And two, there's only so much of it. You know, so that limits the range. In all honesty, we have drones that can stay aloft for days, almost a couple of weeks, with their own ordnance just attached to it. If it wasn't for electromagnetic jamming, they'd be able to just glide across the battlefield at 35,000 feet and pick targets off, because they'd be able to drop their ordnance from that high. The ordnance would kick in at, say, 10,000 feet, And using the thrust and using the gravity itself would be moving at such speeds you couldn't stop it, but it still has to hit its damn target. If it loses its target lock, it's going to miss. It's going to make a hell of a kabloom, but chances are you're still going to miss your target. So the whole thing with drones actually truly changing warfare is not entirely true, but it's been over exaggerated just because you got so many countermeasures to everything out there. One of the key things with the countermeasures with the wired ones is the fact that they will actually, like we were saying with a baited ambush, is they will bait just outside what they know the range is. So when the drone comes in to actually drop its ordnance, it actually reaches the end and it snaps the cable like it's supposed to. And then the drone comes tumbling out of the sky. And then they're like, oh, okay, yep, drone limit there. We might want to back up an extra few hundred feet because they're about to move forward. But if their drone limit is here, we know that the line is a certain range. So we know approximately, hint, hint, where they might be. You get 3 or 4 of these drones dropping out of the sky because they just ran out of wire, you're going to know exactly where those first-person guys are. And guess what? Artillery still works. It works quite well. So, yeah. And if there's a weapon system, there's always a way to defeat it. And a lot of times, it's just simple. Let's see. War Sniper said, Sin, I just wondered if the episode you used, the human fleet war sniper with the drone carrier with Shinano as the AI, the drones that covered the planet after destroying the fleet with the drone was, he's still typing. You know, in all honesty, I'm trying to remember exactly because I've had so many stories out there. They're now starting to merge. He says drone was that the doomsday kind of weapon way. It stripped the planet of all its weapons or even life. Now, if you do a drone swarm and nobody's ready for it, yeah, that is a doomsday weapon. Case in point, they have the small ones that are about yay big that can actually fly right through your window and hit somebody in the forehead with basically a 22 short. It's a suicide drone that works. It only has to stay aloft for about maybe an hour. And it's kind of crazy how these things work. And if you're not ready for it, if you don't have the capability to take it down, it's going to take you out. Alan says, maybe we should suggest dropping flour bags around a certain Moscow Gophers hiding. Oh, man. That's kind of funny. I don't really understand the reference, but that sounds kind of funny. All right, guys. I just want to run this as it stands now. Syntax Warzone has 1 vote. Metal Tactic has 1 vote. Past Sins has 1 vote. Metal Sins has 2 votes. Sin Tactics, 3 votes. Sin Crusaders, 1 vote. Sin Sims, or Syntax Simulations, has 4 votes. If you guys want to add your votes at any time now, please do so. I would like to get this channel up and running as soon as possible. I'm still going to check out Erica's whole thing, but it takes me a few days right now to actually get a chapter as in depth as that one, as the last one, because well, is it here? No, that's not the right one. I'm just going to show you guys this right here. Now, this is a 50-page notepad. This here, all these, and as you can see, there's a lot of writing on it. Yeah, this is only 2 chapters. So yeah, it takes a while to get through the. I mean, sometimes I can really get into the zone, but it really sucks when I'm in the zone. Then somebody says, "Hey, I need you." I'm like, "Fuck." Let's see. Oh shit! You know what? I'm gonna put that down. Chris says Cinnabuns has 2 votes. Yeah, I'll write it down. Cinnabuns, 2 votes. All right. Okay. You know what? To give my voice a break, I'm going to actually throw something on. Did I do this one? Skip says, Sin, I sent you a picture of my first ship. She was made in 1945. Yes, in World War II. She was decommissioned in 1977. I'm hoping you sent that via email at the Gmail one, and I will get those. They're pretty good at making sure I get everything. And I go through each one at least once or twice a week to make sure I have everybody's videos up and ready to go, along with pictures. I don't have it set up right now, but Deathbed sent me his one where it says I can fix her, and that's the one I mainly use. Let's see. Chris says, nice. The oldest ship I was on was the Enterprise. I will you know what? I can't forgo the old joke on this. Since the Enterprise has kind of a double entendre since they use it for science fiction. This joke right here is not about the aircraft carrier or the actual men that are on it. This is about the Star Trekkie Trek. Because whenever you actually see the Enterprise on screen as the Star Trekkie Trek, understand that that is nothing more than a piece of toilet paper. And it can be proven. Because what does the Enterprise do? It circles Uranus looking for Klingons. Let's see. Whoa, these are really jumping now. Okay, War Sniper says, could we not make a small ball like drone that after falling from a drone bomber then turn into a spider-like drone, sneak into the Kremlin and blow up its leader? Honestly, they don't have to. We are starting to use the frequency weapons. They use that against Maduro and all that. And they work great. They fuck with your inner ear so bad that a lot of those guys, they literally just fell over. And when they actually came out of it, Maduro was gone. The ones that went in to get him had to wear a specialized helmet to make sure they weren't affected. Brian says, my first ship was CVA 16. And then Chris would CVN 65. See, Sniper also says, or are the UK drone group not that advanced yet? Oh, they're advanced. They're just using off-the-shelf drones and just arming them themselves, which is how we got the War Tractor. And we also got the Jeep. We got the Jeep that way because the Jeep was not originally meant to be a military thing. It was actually meant to be a off-road vehicle for civilians, and they said, you know what, this is just a better design. Leon says Enterprise in Star Trek was a cruiser, so they say. When it comes to Trek, they have all different ways of trying to judge the different types of ships, and I have not actually finished my video on the ship designations. I started writing it, and I don't know what the fuck I did with it. It's around here somewhere. Chris saying the original Enterprise was a sloop of war. Yeah, it was a sloop, all right. It was a round sloop. Yeah, I can't say too much about Trek because I don't really follow it too much. I do know when they talk about how strong the weapons are, it's like Star Wars Legacy or Galaxy or whatever. And the numbers are so high, you're like, dude, this thing could power up and end a star. See, Lena says, these days, I only heard that Kyiv is getting bombed by missiles and drones. Even Poland shot down some drones. Yeah, Poland don't fuck around. They're not the people in Europe you want to fuck around with. Whatever side they're on usually wins. Okay, the Poles were so pissed off at the Reich that they switched sides. The Polish resistance was the strongest resistance inside occupied zones. Not the French. They just got a lot of PR. Not the Italians, not anybody. It was the Polacks that actually just fucked them up. And yes, I can say Polacks because I'm one of them. That being said, Kyiv, I haven't heard much about them getting hit. Honestly, most people there probably forget there's a war even going on. Let's see. Skip says, my last ship was USS McCloy FF1038. After that, I was assigned to Sublant. Bubbleheads are very different from the surface Navy. I would say so. As far as Sublant, it's the sub fleet, the silent service guys. So don't ask. Don't ever ask. Chris saying, I was Brownwater. Everybody hates us. Ha ha. That's hilarious. War Sniper says, oh yeah, fun fact, Poland got hit by a Russian cruise missile. So World War III, when? Yes and no. The cruise missile went in. The problem is when that sucker went past, not only does Russia send a signal to the Polish, but Ukraine sent a message. And everybody said, dude, out of control missile, take care of this shit. We don't have control of it anymore. Either shoot it down or let it crash. And they just let it crash. Now, the thing is, War Sniper, Poland has other issues than Russia right now. They have bigger issues than Russia right now. Issues that I don't want to get into because I will have everybody at each other's throats in a fucking minute. I will say that when I was in Warsaw, yes, I was in Warsaw. I was there for the 100-year celebration of the end of World War I. I just, by happenstance, I didn't plan that. Swear, right hand to God, I did not plan that, but I am so grateful I was there. That being said, Warsaw is beautiful. I've been to probably 2 or 3 dozen cities around this planet. I've never seen a city as well maintained, as polite, as clean as Warsaw. You know, and I've walked through Tokyo. Well, granted, it was only once, but I've walked through Tokyo, and those folks look at you like you're lower than dog shit. Okay, I mean, they'll be nice as long as you're paying. But if you don't immediately fall into their culture, they don't even give you a little bit of leeway. You have to do things exactly. With the exception of if you're flipping through the book of little phrases you have, trying to figure out what to say, they'll give you the chance to actually say it. And if you say it real sloppy, they'll kind of give you a pass. But that's about as far as the Japanese go. When it comes to the Polish, when I walked into a restaurant, and I actually, right at the front, I said, I'm sorry, but I do not speak the local language. And there was always, okay. And then they would look to see who speaks fluent English, and they would put me in that section. Nobody gave a fuck. Although, I swear, the look on their face when I said yakshimash, which is how you doing, straight to their face, and they're like, that sounds terrible, but thank you. I was like, okay. But anyway, Poland is maintaining what it's got, and it's got its hands full doing that. It can't send anybody out. It can't go to Russia. They can't go to Ukraine, and they don't want to get involved in this shit either. They've already got pulled into other stuff, and it has caused them major problems. Let's see. Chris says, thinking of World War I, it's crazy to connect the dots now to see how much of the world changed for one wrong turn. That's actually true. That is very true. And World War I, in particular, changed the borders of Europe more than any other conflict. All right, let me phrase this right. It changed it in the shortest amount of time in comparison to any other conflict. If you look at World War II, a lot of the borders just stayed the same. Very few were actually, in comparison, I'm going to say that right, in comparison, you will not see as big of a change in the borders of the countries in World War II. World War I was massive. Holy fuck. But that's also because you had the fall of the Ottoman Empire, which was going to happen anyway. They didn't have a choice. That they were already spiraling down because that's the way they operate. And of course, once the Barbary pirates were put out of business, you were counting the days on that. Even though that was a long time prior, it was enough that they started questioning everything. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, Lena says, I remember how Ukraine used to control the gas pipeline system that goes from Siberia to the European states, but someone already destroyed separate gas pipelines that Germany and Russia had built. Honestly, when they were looking at destroying the pipelines, that was the time of year when they had just started to need the pipelines the most. And nobody on either side wanted to piss off Europe because they needed either one side needed them to stay the fuck out and the other side needed to not piss them off. So yeah, that's how that one. Sniper says, if that is so, why do Americans call Poland EU Texas? You actually just answered your question. As far as us Americans are concerned, Texas itself is the only state that actually holds the right to secede immediately, without question, from America itself. It could be its own country tomorrow if they so wanted to. They also have a strong belief in freedom, everybody being able to carry firearms. They are extremely polite, but that's also because everybody is armed. And they believe in holding that border. They love Texas, just like the Polish love being Polish. It's just, that's it. And as anybody with any decent understanding of that will look at it and just say, that's respectable. You want to protect your land. There's nothing wrong with that. Chris saying, gotta run, but it was fun tonight. Good night, everybody. Good night, Chris. Catch you later. Just a reminder, guys, right now, Sin Tech Simulations or Sin Sims is currently ahead by 1, ahead of Sin Tactics. The next ones are a tie for third place between Metal Sin and Sin Abun. So if you guys have anything you want to put in, by all means, put it in because we're going to be done in just a few minutes. I seen the chat box slow down considerably. And now, once again, when it comes to the difference between Poland and Texas, honestly, between the two, if Texas was allowed to not have the U.S. federal government dig into their shit, then I'm pretty sure Texas would have done the same thing Poland did. Sealed everything off and told everybody to go fuck themselves. Because that's what they do. And so anyways, let's see. Looks like everybody's pretty much done for the night. Yeah, Leonid's gone. Looks like War Sniper's about to go. So anyways, on that note, guys, I will leave it in. If you have any other votes, any suggestions, put it in the comment section down below, and I will be reading them probably first thing in the morning because honestly, it's been a long fucking night. But before I go, you guys know You got to get your briefing, safety briefing tonight, guys. Yeah, you're right, Alan. Texas almost can do that. I honestly wish they would. At one point, they did tell the U.S. government to go fuck itself, and they did seal their border, and everybody cried, "Oh my God, you Istaphobic!" And wah! And to that, I say, fuck off. All right. Like I said, safety brief, guys. If you drive, you don't drink. If you drink, you don't drive. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to beat their ass. Good old fashioned Texas beat down if you want to, because guess what? It's a whole lot easier to explain to everybody why you broke somebody's nose than answering why they just ran a vehicle into maybe some kid or something. Ain't worth it. Also, if you think you've had too many, and even if you have to ask that question, have I had too many? The answer is yes. Call an Uber, call a cab, call Jesus. I don't care. Call somebody to take your ass home. That's why I recommend, if you still have cabs in the area, you always go out with a $20 bill in your sock, not your shoes, because people might steal your shoes, but they never steal your socks. It's a very, very old trick. I still kind of do that. But have enough that it'll actually at least get you back to the house, and you're good to go. Also, if your little soldier is going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush, at least if they know what they're doing. Right, ladies? All right. And if you have to ask the question of yourself, should I go with or without one? Dude, time to take your drunk ass home. Either that or run straight into the wall head first. And that goes to the ladies as well. Ain't worth it. What they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, especially when the cure burns like a son of a bitch. Ask anybody who's had to put that basically Rid-X in their hair to get rid of stuff crawling in there. Burns so bad. Oh, man. I just shaved my head bald and soaked it in soap, and I was good. But anyways, it's not really the time when a lot of critters are going to be running around. It's not mating season. It's the dog days of summer, so you shouldn't have to worry too much on the road. Just be careful. The worst thing on the roads is not the critters. It's not the condition of the road. It's the other drivers, because most people can't fucking drive. And they're too busy fucking off on their phones. We just had a vehicle today right in front of me. I thought they were going to end up crashing into who was coming, and they ended up scooting off to the side. It was a crazy, crazy time, folks. Crazy fucking time. That being said, just take care of yourselves, guys. You know, if you're going to eat right, eat well as best you can. I know the quality of food nowadays is questionable at best. But just take care of yourselves, guys. I actually do care. Not just because you're here every Wednesday, which I do want you. But I do actually give a shit about people. I always have. And that's actually what made me a good NCO, because I actually give a shit. So, on that note, keep your eyes open for the next chapter of Get Some, and be ready to receive anything when it comes to the new channel. And that ends my safety brief. And come on, close, you asshole. All right. On that note, everybody, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Same Syntax time, same Syntax channel. This is your host,